Hello and welcome to the Pro Wrestling Personified Podcast. I'm your host, Lewis Carlin, and we're part of the Tap Down Wrestling Podcast Network. At least I think I am still part of the Tap Down Wrestling Podcast Network. I don't know, I've been suspended, as you know. If you've been following, if you've been keeping track, or maybe you haven't been keeping track, had a little thing going on with JP Sims, and little feud going on, broke out. I explained it. I was on the Ringside Rant, explaining my side, and JP was on with my rant of the Tap That Wrestling Podcast Network, explaining his side. Things got a little heated. I may have said a few things that I kind of wish I could have taken back, especially towards the Tap That Wrestling Podcast Network. I was a little bitter that they brought him on without my knowledge. So I said a few bad things, and Nick went ahead and he suspended me. Yeah, and rightfully so. I'm not I was upset at first, and I was thinking about maybe going to another network, but you know, he was right. I said a few things I shouldn't have said, and I got suspended for it. But that's cool. So I'm doing this podcast now. Nick hasn't asked me to do it. I'm just doing it as a, I guess you could call it an olive branch, just to send to him, and hopefully he could put it on. It's the Impact Wrestling edition. I'm going to be doing a Slammiversary preview here, and hopefully I'm going to let Nick know that I'm sending it to him, and hopefully he'll put it on the air before Slammiversary. So let's start over. This is the Pro Wrestling Personified Podcast. I'm your host, Lewis Carlin, and it's the Impact Wrestling edition of the Pro Wrestling Personified Podcast. I'm not gonna review the show. It was a really good show last Thursday. I'm not gonna go into the review. They built all the matches coming up. They did a great job with the build. I'm really excited. A lot of people are really excited about Slammiversary. So I'm going to do a preview here of Slammiversary and give my predictions as well. Impact Wrestling's doing such a tremendous job, man. I've been with Impact Wrestling, following Impact Wrestling, I should say, for a number of years now, through good times and bad times. I've stuck with them, and right now is a really, really good time, for Impact Wrestling and to be a fan of Impact Wrestling. And I'm very excited right now, and on Facebook, I can see, on the Facebook pages, the social media pages, I should say, a lot of people are getting excited. There's a lot more people excited about Slammiversary. They got a lot of really good matches coming up. Again, the build was fantastic. But we still have these people that still want to go on social media and put down Impact Wrestling. And, I can't let that happen, man. I can't let that happen. They got these people coming on. Was Impact Wrestling still a thing? You're damn right it's still a thing, man. Impact Wrestling is freaking amazing right now. The talent roster is so awesome. There was one guy who thought he knows it all about Impact Wrestling and wrestling. The guy lives actually in the UK, and he's saying, "Oh, Impact Wrestling, they should have never let the TNA originals go, like AJ Styles and Bobby Roode and James Storm, and he mentioned Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe is not a TNA original. He came on a few years later, so it shows you how much this guy knows. So he's mentioning those names, and I'm like, have you even watched Impact Wrestling lately? Man, you got Brian Cage, you got Matt Sydal, you have Austin Aries, you got Moose, you got Tessa Blanchard, you got Allie, you got Su Yung, you got so much talent. Eli Drake just signed a huge contract, which we're going to talk about shortly. You have so much talent right now. You got Johnny Impact. You have Congo Kong. Just the list goes on and on. Yeah, there's so much great talent. LAX, Santana and Ortiz. Great freaking talent in Impact Wrestling right now, and it's only getting better. It's only getting better. And they're gonna come out and say, "Oh, well, they never should have let they never should have let Bobby Roode or James Storm go. TNA originals, and kind of they took a big hit there." Yeah, but as wrestlers leave, more wrestlers come in, and right now the talent roster at Impact Wrestling is could be at one of its best it's ever been. At its best it's ever been. There's so much great talent, and then bringing in more talent. We saw Joe Hendry from the UK. I'm not really a fan of the whole storyline with Grado and, and Katrina, and he's, gonna eventually steal Katrina and they're gonna turn on Grado. I'm not a fan of that. I am a fan though of a Joe Hendry, Eli Drake feud. That I'm a fan of. And that we had that match last week and it was a really good match. Hendry, of course, gets the victory there. But you have talent come in. Scarlett Bordeaux, another addition to the Knockouts division, will be making her debut next week. And, a lot of talent, in Impact Wrestling right now. So don't give me that crap that, we lost the DNA originals. You could take that and shove it up. Well, you know where you can shove it up, man. And by the way, speaking of these people, these Impact Wrestling trolls, I gotta give a shout out to my man BQ of the Impact Lounge, cause he just goes out there and he just verbally, well, I guess you say he verbally destroys them on Facebook. I guess he's not really speaking, he's typing, but anyway, but you know what I mean. He goes on there and his stuff is hilarious and he really puts these guys in their place and it's so funny. He called one guy, he referred to one guy as having, I think, cheese tits, and you have to see the whole post. It was hilarious, but, bravo to you, BQ. Keep it up, man. Highly entertaining, man. I love how you put these people down and the internet trolls down. It's really great stuff. Keep it up, man. And you can listen to BQ. He's got the Impact Lounge. Check him out at the Impact Lounge. He does a great job. He's probably right now, not probably, he's the number one source for Impact Wrestling on social media right now. He's got his YouTube channel. He's got Twitter. He's on Facebook. So he does a great job. I would like to be number 2, and I don't know if I'm quite there yet, but, we'll see. It might happen one day. But anyway, but yeah, so again, these people going on Facebook, I think they're just going on Facebook just to get attention. They try to annoy people, of course. That's what they want to do. That's what they're doing. And most of them are ignored, but sometimes they come up with really stupid comments. And they have to be put in their place. Because we're saying, is Impact Wrestling still around, or Impact Wrestling's a sinking ship? How could you say it's still a sinking ship? How could you watch the last few months of Impact Wrestling and still call it a sinking ship? Doesn't make sense to me. It's not a sinking ship. The ship is thriving. And the boat is almost unsinkable right now, in my opinion. So that's how I'm gonna put it. But anyway, we got Slammiversary coming up. On July 22nd. Now, I'm in Toronto, right? And it's here in Toronto, and I wanted to go, but I'm in the middle. I'm going to tell you why I'm not going. I'm in the middle of a move. I'm moving to. I'm recording this. It's July 21st right now. I'm moving to Windsor, Ontario, on July 31st. I'm packing up. I got transferred out there. I'm going to be making more money, so that's always good. And I mentioned that on past podcasts. But it's here. It's arrived. So July 31st, I'm moving to Windsor, Ontario, and we're in the middle of packing and getting stuff ready. And I've been away for work. The past 4 weeks I've been gone. The past 5 weeks I've been away for 4 of those 5 weeks. So I haven't been home. So my wife has been doing everything. My wife's been doing everything. God bless her. She's been doing all the packing and everything while I've been away on business. I have no choice. I gotta go. They need me to go places. So, I've been all over. I've been to London, Ontario. I've been to Hanover. But, again, God bless my wife. She's been doing all the packing and she's really tired. And I'm home for the next 3 days. And I just didn't think it would have been right for me to take off, on Sunday to go see Slammiversary and come back late. While we still have some stuff to do, because I'm doing it all this weekend. I'm taking a little break now to record this podcast, which I hope Nick puts on. But I figured, my wife's well-being and, my, and me not being yelled at and be given shit by my wife is a lot more important than attending Slammiversary. I would love to go, but I'm thinking about my wife here, and I'm giving her the weekend off. I'm doing all the rest of the packing, and there's a lot of stuff to carry up from the basement, so that's why I'm not going. Otherwise, if we were moving, man, shit, I'd be front row at Slammiversary tomorrow. You know, I'd be tweeting live pictures from Slammiversary if we weren't moving, but I gotta do the right thing, so that's why I'm not going to Slammiversary, but I'm gonna try to watch it. I mean, it's different when you're going, cause you gotta leave early, and I'm gone for like 6, 7, maybe 8 hours, cause you wanna get down there, and of course, hopefully you can meet Moose, or you can meet Austin Aries, or you can meet some of the talent. So, but if I watch it at home, it's just like a 3-hour show, and it'll be in the evening, so I'll probably just watch it here at home on pay-per-view. And that's that. That's why I'm not going to Slammiversary, unfortunately. But I am moving to Windsor, like I said, and Border City Wrestling is out there, and Impact Wrestling, I'm sure, will be coming back for the TV tapings. So I do plan on going to those. Absolutely, 100%. I'm going to try to become a regular at Border City Wrestling, because a lot of the Border City Wrestling talents, I'm sure we'll be seeing them on Impact Wrestling soon, so I'm going to be going out there. But yeah, so that's why I'm not going to Slammiversary. But anyway, we have a number of things. Actually, there's a few things I wanted to talk about. I mentioned Eli Drake earlier, and Eli Drake a few weeks back, and I mentioned this on a past podcast, but I haven't had a chance to talk about it. Signed a long-term deal with Impact Wrestling. He's not going to the WWE. He's sticking with Impact Wrestling. All I want to say is thank you, Eli Drake. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for not leaving. He's one of my favorite talents out there. Absolutely love Eli Drake, and I'm glad he's staying with Impact Wrestling, because I don't watch the WWE. I have no interest in watching the WWE. I know EC3 is over there at NXT, and I couldn't tell you what he's doing because I don't watch it. I'm not a fan. I think he's in NXT. I'm not sure if he was brought up yet or not. But I couldn't tell you what he's doing or how he's progressing there, cause I don't watch it. And, usually once, like with Bobby Lashley, I have no idea what Bobby Lashley's doing. I think he's in a feud with Sami Zayn. I think I might have read that somewhere, but I don't know what's going on. So I'm glad he's not going. I'm glad he's staying. He made the choice to stay with Impact Wrestling, so now I can continue watching Eli Drake, which is great, because I absolutely love Eli Drake. And also Tessa Blanchard as well has signed a long-term deal with Impact Wrestling. I think it was a week and a half ago. They're really giving her a little push now. So again, I want to say thank you, Tessa Blanchard. She's one of the best talents in professional wrestling today. Tully Blanchard's daughter. She's absolutely phenomenal, and she signed long term with Impact Wrestling. And I remember when they announced it on Facebook, a lot of people were saying, "Oh, you made a mistake. You should have went to WWE." Why? Why does every wrestler have to go to the WWE? She made a choice. She wants to be with Impact Wrestling. She doesn't want to go to the WWE and get lost in the shuffle, like most wrestlers do when they go over there. But she's signed with Impact Wrestling long term. So Eli Drake, Tessa Blanchard, long-term contracts with Impact Wrestling. This is great, because it's showing that Impact Wrestling is a place it's a cool place to be, right? I mean, it used to be, the whole thing was, oh, they're not getting paid. Who's going to want to go there? Everybody's leaving. But no, not everybody's leaving now. People are staying. People are signing on. It's a great freaking promotion right now. So the past is the past, and you go on Facebook, you want to talk about the past, that's your problem. But Impact Wrestling, man, people are going to see that. People are going to see that Eli Drake and Tessa Blanchard signed long term, and they're going to think, well, maybe it's not that bad a place after all. Maybe I will go over and sign with Impact. Maybe I will say fuck the WWE, and I will sign with Impact Wrestling. I mean, look at Rich Swann. Now, of course, granted, he was released by the WWE, with Impact Wrestling. He doesn't currently have a contract. That's what he had mentioned on the teleconference, but I wouldn't be surprised in the next week or so that we will see, Rich Swann signs long term with Impact Wrestling. Wrestlers are coming. Everyone talks about wrestlers leaving, but a lot of wrestlers are coming to Impact Wrestling. Would love to see Joe Hendry sign long term as well, but I'm not sure if that would happen because I know he's got a lot of things going on with the UK. I know he works for Ring of Honor as well. And I actually don't know if he works for Ring of Honor when they go to the UK, so I'm not sure what the deal is there. But good things happening for Impact Wrestling right now. Yeah, and we have actually it's going to be Impact Wrestling on the Jericho Cruise. Impact Wrestling versus Ring of Honor Wrestling. It's going to be Sami Callihan 1-on-1 with Marty Scurll. And that should be a terrific match. And I'm sure we're going to see some more Impact Wrestling Ring of Honor interactions as well on the Jericho Cruise. I hope it's taped. I hope they have it like a DVD or if it's streamed live or something. I would love to see that. And you don't know. I mean, you got the Bone Soldier from New Japan Pro Wrestling. Taiji Ishimori coming to Slammiversary. Who knows? Don Callis, announcer for New Japan Pro Wrestling. There could be a Impact Wrestling, Ring of Honor, New Japan Pro Wrestling working agreement. That might be in the works. You never know. You never know. And totally off topic, I gotta mention it. WWE. You won't be seeing them at Madison Square Garden anytime soon because Ring of Honor and New Japan Pro Wrestling will be at Madison Square Garden in April of 2019. Sorry, Vince, you lost the garden. It belongs to Ring of Honor and New Japan Pro Wrestling, and I'm going to guarantee you right now that they're going to sell out. You might even want to say that the WWE might even be on a little bit of a decline, maybe. But dare we talk about that? But no, not right now. I know they're not selling out. I know here in Toronto they used to wrestle at the Air Canada Centre, it's about a 20,000 seat arena. But they had to move to a smaller arena, which is the Ricoh Coliseum, which is right across the street from the Air Canada Centre. That holds about 6,000-7,000 people, if I'm not mistaken. So they went from where the Toronto Maple Leafs played to where the Toronto Maple Leafs, their minor league organization plays, the Toronto Marlies. So they had to move because they couldn't sell out the ACC here in Toronto anymore. So they had to move to the Ricoh Coliseum. But this is not a WWE podcast. This is Impact Wrestling. So I just wanted to point that out. But this is Impact. So let's move along. Let's move along with Impact Wrestling. I think I did I have anything else? Any other news? No. So what we'll do, let's go into Slammiversary. We'll do a little preview and predictions. It's not going to be the longest podcast in the world, but we're going to do some preview and predictions. Then I'm going to run down some of the matches that are going to be at the tapings, which will be at Monday and Tuesday following Slammiversary, and then we'll wrap it up. One thing though, I just see this now. Sienna and Rebel, apparently they are no longer, they've been moved to the alumni section of Impact Wrestling. So I don't know if Sienna, Rebel, okay, that's fine. Rebel not the most talented wrestler in the world, but Sienna, I'm a big fan of Sienna, but moved to the alumni section of Impact Wrestling. Usually that could suggest that they're no longer with the company. Sienna, possibly going, wrestling at the Mae Young Classic. But that's one show. Maybe she's doing that in hopes of signing on with, the WWE. I don't know. I'm just speculating. I don't know. But apparently she's, moved to the alumni section of Impact Wrestling, and I'll keep my eyes on that and, see what goes on. And hopefully she's still with Impact Wrestling. I would love to see Sienna 1-on-1 against Tessa Blanchard. I'm not sure if the match has ever happened, but that would be terrific. As would Tessa Blanchard against Taya Valkyrie will be another terrific match. But anyway, let's move on. Let's move on to Slammiversary, which will be in Toronto at the Rebel Entertainment Complex. And by the way, it's sold out. And for the schmucks on Facebook, that mentioned, they were able to sell 50 tickets and sell out. There's a lot more than 50. The Rebel Entertainment Complex apparently is able to accommodate up to 8,000 people. I don't know how many people, it can accommodate for a professional wrestling, event, but it's gonna be a lot more than 50. So, and they sold out. And, it's gonna be a freaking awesome crowd. Gonna be a freaking awesome crowd. I can't wait for Slammiversary. I can't wait. I really wish I was going, but just the cards weren't stacked right for me. That's all. Anyway, but let's move on. We'll do the preview and predictions. So we have, let's start with Tessa Blanchard against Allie. Now Tessa Blanchard, of course, signing a long-term contract, as I mentioned. Allie, Impact Wrestling mainstay, both very, very talented wrestlers. Tessa Blanchard actually began her tenure with Impact Wrestling, and got into a little feud with Madison Rayne. Lost both matches that she had with Madison Rayne. She turned her attention onto Allie, and now we have here at Slammiversary Tessa Blanchard 1-on-1 against Allie. It should be a terrific singles match. Both women are very, very talented. I don't see Tessa Blanchard losing here, especially since she signed that long-term contract. I can see she came in, to put over Madison Rayne, to make Madison Rayne a legitimate contender for Su Yung and the Knockouts title. Not that she needs that, we all know Madison Rayne, the history of Madison Rayne and Impact Wrestling, but the big wins over Tessa Blanchard didn't hurt. And so Tessa Blanchard Allie, again, great match here, on paper anyway, but it should be a great match. I'm gonna go with Tessa Blanchard, only because she signed that long-term contract, and I know that the Knockouts title will be around Tessa Blanchard's waist very, very soon. And once it's around her waist, she's going to hold that belt, I'm going to predict, for a very, very, very long time. But right now, I'm going Tessa Blanchard to defeat Allie in the singles match. Then we have LAX, Santana and Ortiz with Conan taking on the original LAX. I think they're, actually, I know they're going by the OGZ right now. Hernandez and Homicide, and they're with King. Now we all know King, tried to take out Conan. There's a whole feud going on there. Santana and Ortiz, they professed their allegiance to Conan. Hernandez and Homicide showed up, and they're siding with King, and big feud happening there. And this should be another tremendous matchup. I went Hernandez and Homicide against AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels number of years back. Those were some classic tag team matches. It was good to see Hernandez and Homicide back together. And I'm going to say that I did predict it on a past. Well, I shouldn't say predict. I spoke about it. It was a what if situation, that's actually come true. I said, what if Hernandez and Homicide actually come back and they side with King, to take on Santana and Ortiz. And, my what if scenario actually has come true. So it's gonna be Santana and Ortiz versus Hernandez and Homicide. 51-50 street fight. Honestly, I'm not sure if the tag team titles are on the line. I don't think they mentioned it on the show, and I'm looking at it, and I'm on Wikipedia right now, and it doesn't say that it's for the tag team titles. They're just calling it a 51-50 street fight. If that's the case, then I'm gonna say Hernandez and Homicide are gonna win. We'll go with Hernandez and Homicide. If it was for the tag, I don't know. This could go either way. Well, any match can go either way, really. But, this is really a pick-up match. I love Santana and Ortiz. They're, in my opinion, one of the best tag teams in the world. But, you got Hernandez and Homicide back, and they were a tremendous tag team years ago. I don't know. What do I do here? I wish I had somebody with me. I'm gonna go with Santana and Ortiz. I'm going with Santana and Ortiz. You know what? No. I'm gonna go with Santana and Ortiz to win the match. It's gonna be a tremendous encounter. But after the match is over, I'm gonna say Hernandez and Homicide. They put a serious beatdown on Santana and Ortiz. King takes out Conan, and this feud continues. So that's my prediction there. Alright. Let's move on. So then we have Eddie Edwards versus Tommy Dreamer, and it's surprise, Tommy Dreamer is in a House of Hardcore Rules match. So he's taken the name of his promotion and he's making it into a match. So House of Hardcore Rules match. I think they've had one. They had one on the past No, actually they did. They had one on the past pay-per-view. This is Eddie Edwards, who's like totally snapped. He's the dark side of Eddie Edwards, taking on Tommy Dreamer. There's no way Tommy Dreamer is going to win here. Eddie Edwards is going to beat Tommy Dreamer to an absolute pulp. I'm gonna make a bold prediction here. Have I already made a bold prediction? But I'm gonna make, if I have her, I'm gonna make another one. I'm gonna say Davey Richards is gonna show up. And Davey Richards, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Davey Richards lives in the Toronto area, or lives in Canada. I'm gonna say Davey Richards is gonna show up, and he's gonna try to talk some sense into Eddie Edwards. And Eddie Edwards is gonna attack Davey Richards, and it's gonna set up Eddie Edwards versus Davey Richards feud, but this time Edwards is the heel and Richards will be the face. So that's what I'm predicting. I'm almost certain he lives in the Toronto area. I could be mistaken there. But even if he doesn't, they can still fly him up wherever he is. So I'm going to predict that that's what's going to happen there. Then we have a 4-way match, which should be just an absolutely freaking phenomenal match. One of my absolute favorites, the Bone Soldier, Taiji Ishimori, from New Japan Pro Wrestling. We all know him previously, former X Division champion, before he went to New Japan, versus Phoenix, who's a tremendous talent, versus the returning Johnny Impact, versus newcomer to Impact Wrestling, who I hope signs a long-term deal, Rich Swann. Now Rich Swann, apparently suffered a concussion, at, a Major League Wrestling show, I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago, so his status is up in the air, and I was reading that Impact Wrestling might actually be looking for a replacement. I'm going to say the replacement will be Desmond Xavier, if they do go with a replacement, but hopefully Rich Swann will be able to compete. So, but either way, I'm going to say Taiji Ishimori wins this match. Again, should be absolutely tremendous. And I know a lot of people are saying, what? How could you say, Taiji Ishimori is going to win the match, or Johnny Impact's making his return, or Johnny Impact's going to win? They're trying to get in good with, they're trying to get something going in New Japan Pro Wrestling. I don't think they want Taiji Ishimori coming all the way over here, to lose. And it would look good. I know they fell into the bad graces of New Japan Pro Wrestling the way they handled Kazuchika Okada last time he was when he was on Excursion and he was with Impact Wrestling a number of years ago. So I'm going with Taiji Ishimori. Taiji Ishimori should win an absolutely phenomenal match here. It's going to be absolutely tremendous with Rich Swann or with Desmond Xavier, or if that's who they go with. It would be if he's in fact injured, but it should be this could be the match of the night actually. But I'm going with the Bone Soldier, Taiji Ishimori, to win that match. On Callis, can then call whoever the president is of New Japan Pro Wrestling and say, see, I told you, we Taiji Ishimori won the match. Could we get that partnership going now? So that's that one there. Then we have it's going to be an absolutely sick match. Pentagon Jr. versus Sami Callihan in a mask versus hair match. I absolutely love both wrestlers, and this feud is absolutely off the charts phenomenal. Somebody was on Facebook saying, "Oh, Sami Callihan is no Undertaker. He's not supposed to be the Undertaker. This shouldn't even be comparing him to the Undertaker. The comparison is stupid." But anyway, back to the match. This is going to be this might be the best match of the night. Every single match that's on here, with the exception, in my opinion, of Edwards and Dreamer, has the potential. And maybe Su Yung, Madison Rayne, but all the other ones have the potential to be the match of the night. But this should be absolutely just crazy, sick, off the charts, blowing the roof off the building match. If there's one match I'm looking forward to the most, it's probably this one, Pentagon Jr. and Sami Callihan. Pentagon Jr. is not going to lose his mask. Sami Callihan cuts his hair, is no big deal. So I'm going Pentagon Jr. here to retain his mask, not to retain any title, but he's gonna keep the mask, and Sami Callihan's gonna get his head shaved, and he gets his head shaved, he's gonna look a little more diabolical anyway, so Pentagon Jr. wins this match here, but it's gonna be a crazy match. Actually, I can't wait for this one. Then Matt Sydal, let's get into the title matches. Matt Sydal defends the X Division Championship against Brian Cage. I would absolutely love to see Matt Sydal defeat Brian Cage in the middle of the ring, 1, 2, 3, and retain the X Division title. It's not going to happen though. Brian Cage will be victorious here in what should be I don't think it's going to be a long match, but it's going to be a great match between both. Both are very talented. I don't know if Congo Kong's going to get involved here. It could be, or we might see Congo Kong show up, and maybe Kong will show up and Sydal will retain. But I don't see that happening. Cage is the guy. Cage is going to win this match, and he's going to be the next X Division champion. And a lot of people are saying, "Oh, the X Division should be reserved for junior heavyweights." You know, these are WWE fans who, you know, watch 205 Live and, you know, and they watch the cruiserweight division. So this is not, the X Division title is not a cruiserweight title. Samoa Joe is a former X Division champion. It's a perfect example there. So the X Division title is not for junior heavyweights only. So, you know, they need to put that to rest. They need to pay attention to watch Impact Wrestling. But Brian Cage will win here, and he's the next X Division, Impact Wrestling X Division champion. Then we have the match, Impact Knockouts Championship match, Su Yung against Madison Rayne. This is a tough one to call. You would think that Su Yung would retain, but I have this gut feeling that they're going to put the title on Madison Rayne, and Rosemary is going to reappear, or she's going to reemerge, and it's going to cost Su Yung the title. And Madison Rayne will win the title, and Tessa Blanchard becomes the number one contender, and Tessa Blanchard will feud with Madison Rayne for the Knockouts title. That's more interesting to me than Tessa Blanchard going after Su Yung. And I think it'll be more interesting to Impact Wrestling fans. You know, Madison Rayne, as we know, has 2 victories already over Tessa Blanchard, and good little story there. Tessa Blanchard, you know, challenging Madison Rayne, who she's never beaten in Impact Wrestling, for the Knockouts title. So I'm going to go ahead and say, I'm going to go with my gut and say Rosemary returns, costs Su Yung the title, and Madison Rayne walks away as the new Knockouts champion. But will drop the title within the next couple of weeks to Tessa Blanchard. So that's my opinion there. I could be wrong. Maybe they want to play it out a little longer, whether it's in a couple of weeks or a couple of months. But Tessa Blanchard will be if Madison Rayne does win the title here, Tessa Blanchard will be the next champion by defeating Madison Rayne. But that's if I wouldn't be surprised if Su Yung retains. But again, like I said, I'm going with my gut feeling. And then we have the main event. And this is a tough one to pick. This was a tough one for me to pick. This is going to be, you know, you can see the huge side difference between Moose and Austin Aries. But talent-wise, you know, they're on the same level. You know, talent-wise, I think Austin Aries is actually, is higher up than Moose, talent-wise. So this is going to be a really, really good match. It's going to be a great main event match, between Moose and Austin Aries. I know D'Angelo Williams is going to be there, apparently. Curtis Granderson will be, holding the title. Should be the guest title holder or title keeper or whatever they want to call it. Curtis Granderson, of course, playing outfield for the Toronto Blue Jays. Moose, you know, they've built this up nicely. Moose, you know, is trying to get that world title. It's always eluded him. Now he has an opportunity. Now he has a shot. Austin Aries, great competitor, is a great champion, great representative to lead Impact Wrestling, as is Moose. So this is going to be one hell of a match. I read somewhere that Moose is going to turn on D'Angelo Williams. That's stupid, because, you know, D'Angelo Williams, I don't think anybody's would care if Moose turned on D'Angelo Williams, unless, I don't know, it wouldn't make any sense at all. The person that I saw it on a website saying Moose is going to turn heel and turn on D'Angelo Williams, but I don't know. That's not going to happen. That's dumb in my opinion. I'm trying to think of who I think. You know what? I'm gonna Moose. That's gonna be Moose. I'm gonna go. I think Moose. You know, they built him up. They did some really good video packages for Moose over the last couple of weeks, building him up. You know how he's, you know, as a kid, and he's always the underdog, and now he has a shot at the world title. And I think Moose, I'm going to go with Moose. I would say Moose is going to defeat Austin Aries. And unless they're gonna keep Moose as the guy who always falls short, who just can't seem to get the job done. But I don't think it's gonna. I think Moose is gonna. No, I don't know, man. I don't know. Shoot, it's like Austin Aries is such a good champion. I'm gonna stick it. I'm gonna go with Moose. I'm going with Moose. I'm gonna say Moose is gonna become the. But then you got 3 title changes. Then you got Cage, Rayne, and Moose. All titles change hands. Oh, so what? So I'm gonna go with Moose. I'm gonna say Moose is gonna win the Impact World Championship. Now, going back to Rayne. Rayne might win. Rayne might not win. I'm just going with my gut feeling there. But yeah, so there you have it. Say Moose. Moose will be victorious. And I'm wondering, this crowd, I'm really anxious to see this crowd. I'm sure this crowd is going to be really hot, for these matches, because especially Pentagon Jr. and Sami Callihan. So this is going to be a great card from start to finish, and I'm really looking forward to it. Kind of wish Eli Drake, I'm sure he'll show up somehow in some capacity. He'll do something, and maybe we'll have maybe they'll add another match. Maybe we'll see Hendry against Eli Drake. But it'd be nice to see Eli Drake on the card, and I'm surprised Killer Kross. I thought we were going to get Killer Kross versus Petey Williams on this show, but we had that match on last Thursday, which Killer Kross defeated Petey Williams. Speaking of Killer Kross, I absolutely love Killy Kross. I absolutely love Killer Kross. Great character there. Would love to see Killer Kross 1-on-1 with Brian Cage, but I'm sure that's don't want to rush it, but down the road, I'm sure we're going to see, Killer Kross 1-on-1 with Brian Cage. Another great signing there, and hopefully he signs long term with Impact Wrestling. And I can't believe I forgot. I should have did this in the beginning, but I'm going to do it now as I'm getting ready to wrap this up. Sam Osborne. I interviewed Sam Osborne, a few months back, here on the Pro Wrestling Personified podcast. At the time, he was teaming with Tony Cage. Of course, Tony Cage now, Gursinger Singh, in Impact Wrestling, part of the Desi Hit Squad. But Sam Osborne made his Impact Wrestling debut last Thursday. So I want to say congratulations to Sam Osborne. He was actually Greg Osborne, and he took on Sami Callihan, and it was a squash match. Callihan and OVE really put a hurting on Sam Osborne, also known as Greg Osborne. But I would love to see more. A very, very talented wrestler. We'll love to see more of Sam Osborne in Impact Wrestling. And yes, we did get to see Sheila. Sheila, the Boomerang, made her Impact Wrestling debut as well. So congratulations to Sam Osborne. And we hope to see more of you on Impact Wrestling. All right. And last but not least, we have 2 tapings which will be taking place the 23rd and 24th. Also at the Rebel Entertainment Complex here in Toronto. And a few matches have already been announced for those tapings. We're going to get Sami Callihan versus Phoenix. Holy shit. Matt Sydal 1-on-1 with Pentagon Jr. Tyson Dukes makes his return to Impact Wrestling, and he will take on Petey Williams. Congo Kong goes 1-on-1 with Stone Rockwell. I know Aiden Prince. Oh, Killer Kross will go Killer Kross goes 1-on-1 with Josh Alexander, and I absolutely can't wait for that one. Josh Alexander, another wrestler that Impact Wrestling should sign long term. Very, very talented. But Killer Kross 1-on-1 with Josh Alexander will be a part of these tapings. Josh Alexander recently had a terrific match with Sami Callihan for Impact Wrestling tapings. I think it was on a one night only show. And the Cult of Lee taking on the Deaners. So those matches have been announced. And next week, don't forget, Scarlett Bordeaux will be making her Impact Wrestling debut on Impact Wrestling, of course. And that's it. And that's it for me. I hope this makes it on the air. I hope Nick accepts his olive branch and he he puts the podcast on. I just realized just how much I miss doing podcasting. And to everybody at the Tap Down Wrestling Podcast Network, Nick and Myron, the Wrestling Dorks, please accept my apologies. Please accept my apologies for everything I've said and done. It's hit me right now how much fun this is, how much I love doing this, and I want to keep doing this, and I don't want to stop, so I'm going to go ahead and say I apologize to the Tap Down Wrestling Podcast Network, to Nick and to Myron. You know what? JP Sims, I'm sorry, man. He just became a father again. His daughter was recently born. And I just want to say congratulations to JP Sims. I don't hold any grudges anymore. I guess doing this podcast, brought it all back to me on how much I missed it. Haven't done it for a few weeks. So, again, congratulations to JP Sims and his family. If you ever want to come on, JP, and you want to just talk about our problems here, our past difficulties, our past problems, and try to hash them out on the air, you're always welcome. You're always welcome. I'm all for it. So there's the olive branch to you as well, JP Sims. So hopefully I'll be back next week. And, if I am, I just want to say thank you very much for listening. My name is Lewis Carlin. This is the Pro Wrestling Personified Podcast, proudly part of the Tap Down Wrestling Podcast Network. Nick? Proudly part of the Tap Down Wrestling Podcast Network. And until then, hopefully I'll be back next week. And until then, take care, bye-bye, and as always, stay safe, everybody. Bye-bye.